Hello there people. If you hadn't already noticed, I did happen to join Team Demise recently, so I'm thereby going to have to come up with a completely fresh introduction for my future commentaries, which I've not actually thought of as of yet, so before my next upload I'm going to have to get on that. Now, you'll also notice that my channel layout and headline has changed accordingly, so it may look different to you. My new gamertag is Demise Dasher, which is quite ironic considering I'm playing as a ticker with the dash ability at this moment in time. Now, if you happen to recall watching my first commentary, you may remember that I named the Nasher technique that I utilise dashing, which is the primary factor in the outcome of my new gamertag. Now, I assure you, I'm definitely not referencing a goddamn reindeer as one of my friends suggested. I mean, could you imagine? What's up guys, Rudolph here. No, but seriously, so far the team seems great, incorporating quite a few skilled players who read the game well, while simultaneously having a laugh in the process. Now, personally, I think this is key to any gaming team because it's easy to lose enthusiasm in uploads if there is no fun to be gained during playtime. So, for that, thanks for having me, Team Demise, and especially Aspire and Codex, who are the co-leaders, I believe. I know that the team is still recruiting at this point, so if you do consider yourself to be a decent player, then I definitely recommend messaging either Aspire or Codex, just to let them know that you're interested in joining Demise and in order to possibly arrange a tryout. Now, I'll provide a link to Aspire's channel in the description below. I suggest you check it out anyway, even if you're not wanting to join a team, because there's lots of good content on there, especially if you enjoy watching competitive 3v3 scrims or 1v1 mercies, that sort of thing. So let me also take a moment to shout out Mellow member Omega as well. He recently hosted a contest wherein you had to comment on one of his videos and attempt to make him laugh in order to win a jungle tie code, which I believe is only accessible in the United States. I don't believe you can get jungle tie in the UK. So I happened to use my unsurpassed sarcasm to nab myself the code, which I'm really happy about. Make sure you check his channel out. He puts out good content and he pulled off a golden super in his last video. His link will also be in the description. Anyway, I decided to use a judgment demo gameplay for this commentary because I did acquire quite a few headshots. I gained my first back-to-back blindy, just choking and missing out on the third blindy, which I wasn't happy about. I actually thought about like rage quitting. And also, just to give you an insight into my thought process regarding the newly implemented gameplay mechanics. Now, bear in mind that I wasn't able to get my hands on the early access demo and decided not to attempt to USB the game because I thought that it involved too many tedious procedures personally, and I can't really be bothered getting into all that computer like technical stuff anyway, so therefore I'm in the minority of YouTubers who had to wait for the actual demo to be officially released on the marketplace. When I first began playing the Overrun demo, I noticed a fair few sensitivity issues from the get-go regarding character turning speed in particular, despite having all of my sensitivities set to full, which I more or less did immediately because it's much easier to start off on a high sensitivity than start off on a low one and then like adapt into high afterwards. However, I soon realised that this clunkiness and control corresponded to the unique traits of certain characters, as the developers have obviously taken many factors into account when playtesting and balancing the game, even going as far as to fiddle with the actual basic character controls and constraints, it seems. Hence why the Grenadiers feel so damn clunky and cumbersome to control. Also, the developers have implemented a new health system wherein certain characters have an increase in the amount of damage that they can take. This explains why when I first began playing, the matches seemed extremely spongy, even compared to Gears of War 3, with players beating me despite the fact that they had been simply outplayed with the Nasher, and I'm sure from their perspective they'd probably agree. Since then I've had a mess around with the breach shot, as you can see in this video, after my ticker spamming finally ceases, and I find it a really entertaining weapon to use. The sensitivity of the rifle is very odd at first compared to the long shot in Gears 3, but it is quite easy to adapt to, and once you get to the stage where you feel comfortable with the weapon, it becomes extremely effective at long and medium range alike, as it's a one-shot one-kill with a headshot, and usually a two-hit kill if targeting the body, I believe. Now, taking this into consideration, as well as having the accompanying Rage ability, which I haven't got used to the movement with as of yet, as you'll see in this video, I have to say that the Rager is my favourite Locust class in Overrun mode, and I would say that the mechanic is definitely my favourite cog class. Mainly because the turrets that you can distribute around the map do so much damage, and it's on the verge of overpowered. Also, running around with your Nasher out is always fun, especially if you have a turret backing you up and doing a bit of damage to your 1v1 opponent. Obviously this is irritating for the opposition, there's no doubt about that, but it's funny if it's your turret. Overall, I've had quite a bit of fun on the game mode so far, but it's limited, not only in terms of having to replay the same map each match, but because there are a lot of new players testing the game out who failed to acknowledge that the mode is basically attack and defend, and therefore you are often granted teammates who will wander the map aimlessly, gaining absolutely no support points in the process, and not aiding your team in the slightest. This becomes frustrating really fast. Now, consequently, when the game releases, I don't believe I will be playing Overrun mode for entertainment purposes, probably venturing on if the mode is linked to an achievement, which I'm sure it will be. Execution, Team Deathmatch and Domination look to be the modes I'm going to delve into frequently. As the game has already been released in the United States as of a day ago, I have seen quite a few matches and live streams that focus on the aforementioned modes, and the game looks to be a lot more balanced than I had first predicted, with the Nasher in particular doing much more damage than I had foreseen. This is an extreme positive in my eyes, as I was waiting to be thrown into a match full of high damage sword-offs and retro lancers, both of which have been nerfed in terms of damage it seems, although the sword-off equals this out to an extent by containing 2 shotgun shells now rather than 1. When Judgment releases in the UK on the 22nd, I believe, I'm going to focus my channel on execution mode, as I believe that this is where most of the skilled Nasher users congregate, and the Nasher community is the one in which I have most of my respect for the players in by far. I will also be playing Team Deathmatch quite frequently if I decide I'm getting bored of sitting out after an execution death, because you end up just spectating a player who sits on cover for about 10 minutes just to draw the round out, which it gets really annoying. Team Deathmatch obviously harbours spawn systems, which is fun, and it no longer pulls your lives, which I'm happy about. There was nothing more annoying than having a teammate who just ended up eliminating all of your lives for your team. I believe that will spawn into most game modes with a Nasher equipped, because I can always trade my secondary weapon, which is a pistol, at the beginning of a round for a special weapon, and at one of the special weapon spawns, and I could also pick up a Lancer once somebody is being killed while using one, which I'm certain will be inevitable in every match, as lots of people choose to keep a distance between themselves and the enemy team, which can be annoying if you're trying to engage them in close quarters. I would usually play campaign before I delve into multiplayer, but this time I think I'm going to begin playing online almost instantly, with the exception of briefly playing a few chapters, just in order to obtain a few campaign stars that will unlock Kim for multiplayer, I believe. He's one of the only characters that I believe looks quite decent when on the red team, so you get the best of both worlds basically. Of the outfit skins that I have seen showcased, I think my favourite is probably the inmate skin, which, although cheesy, seems to be less ridiculous than some of the others with overkill vibrant colours. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the Overrun demo gameplay and the headshots I accumulated throughout, and I shall probably speak to you when Judgment releases. See you soon.